All right, guys, what's up? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And I'm going to be right honest right off the bat. I haven't been more excited to make a video because I think I have come up with a solution that will solve Splitgate 2's biggest problem going forward. Now, with that being said, I don't ask for anything. And all I'm going to ask is for the viewer, you that sees this video, if you agree with what I'm about to say here, please first and foremost hear me out from start to finish. And if you agree with what I'm saying, and if this sounds good to you, and if you think this is a great thing for Splitgate 2 to become, that doesn't alienate either side or doesn't divide the player base, but at the same time keeps the excitement of what this game is all about, please spread this video out, whether it's at your favorite content creator or YouTuber, whether it's on X, whether it's in the Splitgate 2 server, like spread the word, please, because this is something that could make the biggest difference. So without further ado, let's get into this. So this all started with me asking my chat just now that I just ended the stream in. There were about 25 to 30 people in the chat at maximum when this conversation or so was taking place. And I basically asked the chat, I'm like, chat, we all know that the Splitgate purists, the ones that have been around ever since Splitgate 1, the ones that love portals, the ones that have learned portals and or are willing to learn portals, are going to play this game no matter what, whether it's in its current state or whether it's in its future state, right? In terms of what we're about to get. And what we're about to get with Splitgate 2, which has already been officially announced, is that the portaling is about to get a buff because there's going to be more walls all over the place, right? Okay. Now, I asked my chat, I said, obviously the Splitgate community, as well as those players who are not only willing to learn the portals or just to come in and try the game, I think we could all agree that that's the smaller part of the community, and that the majority part of the community, for one reason or another, is not into portals, right? And, it's like, how many people do you guys, do you guys think that the majority of people that try Splitgate 2 in the future, will not even give it a try or not stick around because of the portal mechanic or whatnot? Like, what percentage of people do you guys think is, and the thing is they actually agreed with me, and I'm paraphrasing, you guys could obviously go back and stream or whatnot, but basically that's what was said. And everybody pretty much agreed that one of the cool things about Splitgate, which is the portals, is also the biggest thing that's basically, for one reason or another, turning people away from the game, right? And this is where I really started to think, and my mind was shuffling, and then a light bulb went off in my head. I mentioned it to my chat, and the next thing you know, everybody's excitement went through the roof, and everybody agreed that this would actually be a really good idea that would not alienate both sides. And guess what? Better yet, a no portals mode is not going to be required. There's not going to be like a Fortnite-ish thing to where it's like, oh, we're going to have half the game. We're going to have half the game be like this and the other half of the game be like that. Choose whatever you want, right? And then, because all of a sudden you would have a really big divide, and on top of that, it would almost seem like this game has an identity crisis. And I have come up with a way to where the game can remain within its identity and remain intact and have the portals be as good as they've ever been, but at the same time not scare all those people away. So here's my solution. Here we go. Now, it sounds simple, right? But when you actually think about it and you put everything I'm about to say into you get it working in your brain, you start to picture things. It's like, very interesting. So let's get into it. So my proposal, right, is that portals in the game should be in the form of a power-up that should be put in certain parts of the map, or maybe in the middle of the map, so that way players on both sides can race to go and pick it up. Now, hold up a second. How many portal power-ups, or what I would call a portal gauntlet, should be in it? It should be in there. Well, that's something that we're going to have to test out, because the developers have already said that there's going to be more testing sessions, or whatever they're going to be called right now. I can't think of them because I'm just too damn excited right now. There's going to be more testing sessions. So whether you're going to have, like, let's say anywhere from 2 to 4, right, on any given map or whatnot, makes it very interesting. And you could put them in the middle of the map, or you can put them in power position spots on the map. And what happens is, once a player picks that portal gauntlet up, no matter who they are, it could be all the members of one team, it could be all the members of the other team, or that you could have 2 and 2, or whoever manages to get there, right, to pick up that power up. Guess what? They've got their portal ability, and yes, they have it unlimited. There's no limitations to it whatsoever. And it's also very powerful this time, more powerful than ever, because right now we've got more portal walls, right? Because that one thing that makes the game great, but at the same time turns off the vast majority of players, or pushes them away from the game, is something that is, again, could be utilized in full force. However, it's limited for two reasons. Number one, it's limited because that person, even though they can use it indefinitely, they won't have it forever, because once you die, you drop it. And anybody else on that map, including the person that killed you or whether it's a teammate, can go in and pick it up, and then now they have it. But here's the interesting part. This is what makes it even more powerful in a way that I just mentioned. It makes it more powerful because only the people that have this portal ability, whether it's anywhere from 2 to 3 people or maybe even 4 people, let's say at most, right? Only those people will be able to do that, while the other ones won't. So the portal ability will be very powerful, and not everybody on the map is going to be able to have it. You have to earn it. And again, once you kill that person who's got it, you or a teammate can go pick it up, which could change the pacing of a game. It makes that player who has it that much more viable. The strategy and technique will be really great, but at the same time, the portals won't be so annoying because only a limited amount of people will be able to have it. And not only that, it will spread from people to people. Like, in other words, anybody can basically have the ability to get that portal. If you think about it, all you need to do is get a kill or an assist kill or whatnot, and wham bam, you've got it. And the only way you lose it is by dying, because by dying you drop it, a teammate or an enemy can pick it up. And also think about what this shit can do to competitive, man. Think about it. If somebody's got a portal and they can make all these really good and brilliant plays, think about how interesting that would be for competitive. So what we've done here is we've provided a balance to the portal system, because in one way, the devs have already said at this point that they're going to buff it, because they're going to go back towards the Splitgate 1 route, to where there's going to be more portal walls. I totally get it, because the Splitgate 1 crowd is a very passionate crowd, but it doesn't stop the fact that it is a very small community, and those numbers won't be enough in order to sustain the game to make it survive. So how do you come up with a solution? This is my solution. This is the solution that I thought of, and it's actually very simple because it follows the formula of what makes Splitgate 2 very interesting, right? Or just Splitgate in general very interesting. And at the same time, it's made the ability that much more powerful in 2 ways, obviously, because, or should I say in 3 ways. The only way that it's weak is that not everybody's going to have it from the get-go. But if you do get it, number one, you earn it, and number two, you're able to use it and make more use of it, because not everybody's going to have it. So therefore, you could take advantage of it, because it's going to be harder for them to counter you. And on top of that, you got more portals that you can walk through. But at the same time, you've got that balance to where it's like, hey, only like, let's say 2 or 3 players on the map are going to be able to have it, right? And the fact that anybody can have it, and this also gives the noob, the casual player, right? Let's say a casual player manages to get it, right? Because let's be real, anybody can get a kill in this game, right? The only difference is how many are you getting and how consistent are you, right? But for the most part, anybody can get a kill in this game, right? So, because anybody who's played this game could attest to that. So you get a kill, you manage to pick this thing up, guess what? Now you're powerful in 2 ways. Even if you don't like using portals, guess what? You can keep the portal, right? You can keep the portal and keep that other, enemy from getting it. And so can your teammates, because they can revolve around you, which makes the gameplay that much more interesting. Because a person on your team that has the portal can be, they could be seen as like a red outline or something like that through the walls as well by your teammates, not by the enemy, because that would make the ability, obviously useless, because you can see them through walls and stuff like that. I'm not suggesting that at all. No. I'm saying like only your players can tell, only the people on your team can tell if somebody on your team has the ability. So that way, if you need to protect them, or if you need to keep the portal on your team, this changes everything, both competitively and in casual. It'll make that much more interesting plays when it comes to, the different game modes that are also going to be brought back, as well as the ones that are here. And at the same time, again, you're not going to need to do a no portals playlist, because it's going to be balanced out to where it's not going to be as annoying. You know what I'm saying? Because if everybody has it, then therefore what's so unique about it, if you really think about it? And guess what? Now that you have it as a player, whether you like to use it or not, it's like, and I'm going to add one more. And I just thought of this right now while recording this commentary. Why not give the ability to the person who's got the portal to pass it on to a player that's better than them at portals? So let's say they don't like portals, but there's an amazing player on their team that also knows how to use portals, or let's just say they're just better in general, to where they can stay alive longer with that portal. Why not give them the ability to drop that portal to give it, or just pass it on to their teammate, right? I think that would make things very interesting as well. And I just thought of that in terms of passing it on to the teammate. I think that would be really, really cool. But the interesting thing about that is, if you find yourself in danger and you're about to die using because you got the portal, but you're surrounded by enemies, you know, if there's a teammate nearby, maybe you can pass it to them real quick and then they can portal out of there or something like that. So if you think about that, that could be very interesting. You know, obviously, if the pass, originally the pass mechanic wasn't part of this, but I just thought about it now, but I just thought that it would make an interesting part of this in terms of what you guys would think, as well as adding it in. But I wanted to take this beyond stream, and I wanted to basically put this here because I think this is a legitimate solution that basically makes the portal ability even better, but without it being too chaotic to the point to where it's like, you know, crazy and all over the place. And I think both sides will be happy with this because it tunes down the chaos, but at the same time, when you have that portal ability because you've earned it, because you picked it up, or because you got a kill, and because of the fact that you can lose it, because if you die, or, you know, or if you want it, guess what? You got to kill the person that's got it, right? But again, you're not going to be able to tell who has it until you kill them, right? That's the one thing that's going to, that's the thing in this game, you know. The only way you can tell who's got it is if they're on your team. So I just want to iterate that. You're not going to be able to see a person through walls if they have the portal, if they're on the enemy team or anything like that. No, that's not the case at all. So I want to know, what do you guys think of this? I think this will be a complete game changer, and I think it's going to change the way this game is played compared to other first-person shooters. Because when you think about strategy, whether it's a casual mode like Team Deathmatch, or whether it's a competitive game mode like Takedown, this completely changes or adds another layer of an element to the technique and strategy to the entire playing field. And that's what it's all about. And on top of that, it's fun because it's not too chaotic. However, when you get it, you can literally be an amazing player on the team. However, you're not unlimited. You know what I mean? Because if you die right now in Splitgate 2, it's like, oh, you die, you get it again. Or if you killed somebody who's using portal, okay, great, they can use it again. But guess what? If you kill somebody who's got it, now they won't have it anymore if you pick it up. Now you got it, and you can give it to a good player on your team, or you can keep it for yourself or whatever, right? I think this changes everything without sacrificing the integrity of the game, the integrity of portals and everything like that. And I bet you, I am willing, and I'm not a betting man, I'm willing to bet that players that are even pro players would be open to something like this, to at least try it. That's all I ask. At least try it. Let's put this into play test and at least try it. And I think a lot of people are absolutely going to love it. And I hope this video spreads. I really do. Even if this is the last video I ever make, which is not, but even if this was, I would gladly post this up, because if it meant making the biggest difference in this game, then so be it. If it means bringing in more players and making this a truly unique first-person shooter in and of itself in terms of how the game is played because of a concept like this, then so be it. So with that being said, please spread the word in all forms of social media if you can. If you agree with me legitimately, get this out to Ian, get this out to Splitgate, please, because, you know, the community not the community manager, the guy that I had access to over on Twitter, you know, he's not a part of the team anymore, unfortunately, so I can't be like, hey, please spread this to Ian. So I'm going to need the community to do this with me. So spread the word to fellow pros if you know who they are and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully the community that is still in love with this game, obviously, can band together and we can make Splitgate 2 even better, you know, because of a concept like this, without dividing the player base and with keeping the integrity of what Splitgate is at its core intact. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this really sounds good to you. Let all comments be known down below. And again, please, if you agree, spread the word. And thank you all for taking the time to watch and or listen. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.